Perfect. We are live on YouTube.
Awesome.
There's a little bit of a lag there.
Yeah.
Can you hear that?
I don't hear much of a lag.
Okay.
I think you're coming in fine. Do you have YouTube pulled up too, or
I do.
is that where the lag is?
Yeah.
Okay. If you listen to one, I think it's okay.
Got it. Okay. Let me see here. Let's see. Okay, what do you think, Taylor? You want to get rolling?
Yeah, sure. Sounds good.
Okay. Well, guys, we're going to get started here on our webinar with Yield 360. And we've got Taylor Pulver here with 360 Yield Center. How are you doing today, Taylor?
Hey, we're doing great. So it's a great day to be here at 360.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, here in Ohio, it's pretty good weather today, really. I mean, sun shining and beautiful end of January day. I know some guys wish that maybe it was a little bit more frozen out there. They could do maybe some field work. I know some livestock guys that need to get some manure hauled, but overall, beautiful day. So I wanted to bring Taylor in and talk with you guys about some of the products you see up here on the screen. 360 tanks, a Y drop. All these things have been big products for us, and Taylor's done a great job of helping us push these products onto the customer and get you guys educated. So, Taylor, you're going to walk us through some of these products. Let's dive in and get these guys educated because there's no farm shows this year.
Exactly. No, it's been difficult trying to get some of the information out there, but wherever we can get it out there via, webinars, YouTube, we're always here to help out. But yeah, so what we'll start with, the plan is to kind of go through some of the spring products, some of the new ones we actually have here at 360 that we have just started with full production this year.
Yep.
And then working our way down to Y drops and some summer products as well. So we'll just kind of give you an overview and give you some insight on what's new with 360.
Yeah.
So the first product, Dash. Last year, it's been in beta for a few years, but Dash is our valve in which we are stopping that stream of fertilizer and starting it, and we're controlling that stream to 2 inches or 3 inches, depending on how you want to set that and run that through your iPad app. So this is the nuts and bolts right here is that Dash valve.
So basically the idea with this real quick, Taylor, is instead of doing a solid, steady stream of in-furrow fertilizer, where you've got fertilizer that's really not being used because it's not close to the seed, you're cutting your usage in half by just doing dashes or pulses of the fertilizer just where the seed is. So this is correlated with the seed placement.
Exactly. Yeah. So as that seed, and actually you would have the option too, if you really wanted to, you can move that dash in the app and stick the 3-inch dash in between the seed. So you have control to place that right over the top, but we're shooting right over the top of that seed because what we see is that when we put a constant stream of fertilizer, we're paying for that fertilizer that's not getting used right away when the seed starts germination, and that's when it really needs its phosphorus and those starting nutrients right there. That's typically what's in your starter makeup. So, I mean, this has the capability of making expensive starters that you may want to use more of, cheaper, cutting that in half, and then also making it more useful or more more people can use it. They can afford to use it,
Yeah, yeah. Your higher end in furrows become more efficient because you're not spreading them out across the whole field. You're just putting them perfect placement with the seed. I like that how it's correlated with your seed placement. Now, how does that work?
Yeah, so that works with your seed tube. So we're actually here. I'll move on through here. This is our how the planter is. It's communicating with the planter, right? So
Okay.
we got the iPad in the cab there, and we actually have a hub where you see that A is. That A
Yep.
is sending a wireless signal that's connected to the dash valve itself. You could see kind of the wireless antenna that was on that valve, and I have a few other pictures that we'll go through, and you can see that again, but they're communicating wirelessly. And then also too, if you look at kind of our key here, where it has the 360 dash valve and that flow meter, they're all communicating together to see that seed. And then those are wired together. So what we're using is that seed tube to be able to communicate and see the seed and hit that seed with the starter.
Gotcha.
Typically, we're using a key in, use smart firmer or even a like wave 360 wave. So we're
Okay.
limited on the application that we can use,
Yep.
but those are kind of the three that we can be capable with.
Yeah.
I don't know if that helps kind of understand a little bit how it's communicating with the planter, how it's seeing that seed.
It does. So basically on the iPad, you can control not only where it's putting it, but also the rate too, of
Correct.
course, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
And I believe here on this next slide, yeah. So here, as I mentioned, you can see at the top there that wireless signal.
Okay.
Pulling power off of the planter itself with our harnessing, and we're plugged. Depending on your planter, we're plugging into a couple different outlets, whether it's exact emerge or max emerge, or if you have precision on there. So there's a few different options where we're actually plugging into.
Yep.
Pulling power off that harness, and we're able to communicate with your seed tube, and the valve plumbs up into your liquid system there with push connects.
Awesome. So if I already currently have an in-furrow system,
Mm-hmm.
I can add, granted, we would need that ag excel pump, but I can add dash to my existing John Deere 1775.
It needs to be a high-speed planter. So we're
Yep.
looking at, yeah, if it's high speed, it's got precision planing or speed tube on it.
Yep.
Or you have an exact emerge
Yep.
high-speed planter, we can fit it up. So that's our limitation is high-speed planters.
Okay.
You'll need that ag excel pump that we offer and we can sell, or
Yeah.
Excel will sell to you, and we'll sell you the dash system for it. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, that's I know you stopped by our shop here the other day. It would have been, I think, Monday or Tuesday, and brought one of these dash modules, and I was pretty impressed. I think there's a lot of guys out there using Infurrow. In fact, I know there is. I mean, we set up a lot of Infurrow systems, but to be able to add this to an existing thing, I think is a big deal.
Yeah, no, it's very neat. 'Cause, I mean, we can just stretch that starter so much farther and get the same benefit out of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is how it kind of mounts. You can see how it mounts up to the row unit. Because when I brought it in, we just had the dash valve itself. So
Yep.
some questions about how does it mount up? What does that look like? And these are kind of from some of the test rows that we had.
Okay.
And where it's mounted to that row unit.
Got it.
So here's something I really wanted to kind of throw in there. This came off of our test plots in 2020. And what's really interesting about this is how we tested 2-inch dashes, 3-inch dashes, and continuous. So you can see we actually pulled off a benefit. I'm not saying I don't have the best justification of it, but we're wondering if maybe concentration of starter, maybe seeds like concentration. We haven't been able to prove this, but when we think about nitrogen and how instead of spreading it all over the place and we're banding it in a concentrational band,
Yep.
plants seem to respond very well to concentration in bands.
Yep.
So we're seeing that with the 2-inch dash. We're basically in these stars, you can see we tried 5 gallons, 10 gallons, 15 gallons an acre. And in that 3-inch dash, that 5 gallons an acre was only 2.5 technically of use. It looked like 5 gallons that seed, but it was 2.5 that we truly used. We still were pulling yield advantages off of that, which was interesting. That's not what we're going for. We were looking for the same.
Yeah.
Because we're looking for savings in that input, not necessarily a yield boost. But these are the results we got.
Interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, and here's just kind of a visual of how we're hitting that seed and what it's looking like there, and just the savings we can pull off.
Okay.
Yep. And this is what the app will look like. You'll have your settings and be able to set the rate. You can see on the right side where it says 5, that's 5 gallons per acre of starter it's using. So you can set the rates and how much you want to put down and control that through that iPad app.
Got it. That'd be handy to have in the cab.
Yeah, it's really nice that a lot of this is wireless, so it's you don't have to worry nearly as much with the electronic or the wiring, I guess, per se. But here's the AgExcel pump we're using.
Okay.
Specifically be ordered through AgExcel. It's specifically designed to work with Dash. So we have different filters on there, sensors that help us make sure Dash is working and functioning appropriately.
Okay.
And this is just kind of the picture of where it's hitting off where we're using Wave as the applicator, and just clean shot of fertilizer on top.
Huh. I'll be dang. That's an interesting, I mean, like we talked, whether you're doing the Keaton seed firmer or the Wave, I think it's a great way to make your starter more efficient.
Yeah, 100% agree. And that's what we're going for, is the efficiency of fertilizer there. And then just opening up that new market of maybe you haven't ever used starter before, but now it could be an option just for a price standpoint.
Yep.
But yeah, so this is just kind of a breakdown of what you would need to run Dash. Right now, we're very limited on the planters we're running on, high speed, and just John Deere. But I would imagine we're going to probably be breaking into the Kinseys probably. I don't know a time frame on that, but I would hope in the next year or two we'd have a Kinsey option is usually how it goes. So.
Nice.
Yeah. And then also, can we talk a little bit about 360 Wave?
Wave, the most popular product of the month.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've had a lot of calls, a lot of questions. And, without farm shows, we actually sold out here at the very end of December. We were cleaned out. So I thought that was kind of impressive that's been a lot of talk. And yeah, we sold out so soon, even without farm shows.
Yeah.
Cool. But
so what is the what's all the rave about Wave?
So it's that closing that we're getting, the closing action. That's what's huge. Not only is this a starter replacement, just applicator, but it's that closing action. This is acting as a knife and slicing that 2/3 of the sidewall, right? And it's creating a folding over the top and folding soil to make sure we got closure there.
Okay.
Which we're going at. That's what everyone's kind of going after nowadays. We're looking at closing systems, but this allows you to put your starter 3/4 of an inch below the seed and away from the seed. And by disrupting that sidewall, what I've seen is I've kind of created a path of least resistance for the roots. So when that first root is germinating and coming looking for that fertilizer, it's actually following that path that we just disrupted and leading it right to the band of fertilizer. So within about 12 hours of germination, that seed has access to that band of fertilizer. So it's pretty interesting to see how that trains the root system down to that fertilizer.
I see. Yeah, because we've learned through compaction studies that it takes very little PSI for a root to change degrees, and whenever you can just create a path, not only is that kind of what we do when we inline rip and do some tillage with like the 360 bullet in the fall, but here we're kind of using that same concept in the spring.
Exactly. Yeah. And this was a study that we pulled off of our plot too. We were looking at closing, like what our control is just your regular old setup, rubber wheels and a Keaton seed firmer. We've been using that for a very long time.
Yep.
We just added in a few different options, just messing with closing wheels and then messing with the firming system as well. And you can see where Wave falls into line. If the highlighted yield bumps we have there is rubber wheels with 360 Wave. So, what's interesting about that is with the rubber wheels, if we compare that to our control unit, we're 14 bushel above the control.
Yep.
And we're only using rubber wheels, you know. So what that says to me is that 360 wave is really helping a lot with that closing action, and the rubber wheels have a much easier job of just closing that furrow. So the wave is doing a lot of the work, so to speak. And we can see we get an additional. We saw about a half bushel advantage just in the numbers with the cast, which is interesting. Just shows you how much work wave is doing for us for closing.
Don't let the precision guys see that the wave beat out the two-stage closer.
Yeah, that's I'm sure that's going to be hotly debated, but that's what we pulled out of our yield results. It's just very interesting. So we have several different strategies of how do we go about closing, right?
Yeah,
that's what we're all trying to figure out.
You know, that's extremely interesting because when the wave came out, you know, I saw it myself as an in-furrow game, you know, an in-furrow kind of fertilizer deal. But the fact that it's optimizing our closing system, I honestly had never really thought of that. But it'll be interesting. I know some guys are going to be playing with the wave here this spring, and it'll be interesting to see if they see the same results.
Definitely. No, that's what we're going for. Not only are we getting the starter placement, but we're getting that closing action is huge. It's
yeah.
Huge. Here's kind of just a little mock-up video here of where we're kind of mounting 360 wave.
Okay.
So each planer we're mounting behind the closing wheels there. That's where it's going, but you can also see the firmer that we're using as well. It's just like push and connect there.
Got it.
So, and what we're doing here is just slicing that sidewall, making sure we have good contact with the seed there. Yeah, and one benefit too, I'm sure it'll show, but there's actually a spring in the system. So if you go hit a rock or you go over anything, there's some upward give to it. That spring is very stiff, and it just allows it not to break as if you hit something. So that's kind of a nice feature as well.
That's going to be a popular product.
Yeah,
it already is.
Yeah.
But
we've already sold a lot of them, and we only have John Deere Max Emerge, John Deere Exact Emerge, and Kinsey 3000 at this point.
How many people that jumped on them this year? How many do you feel are using them as a closing system?
That's a high majority.
Okay.
Selling point.
Okay.
I say probably close to 80-85% we're looking for that closing option.
Nice.
And then the starter is almost the benefit. The starter placement's the benefit with the closing. So even some guys were even talking about not running a starter fertilizer system through it. They just wanted the closing. You know, they were just going to run the blade to get the closing action they wanted.
Okay.
So yeah, this is kind of interesting. And then a lot of guys also pair it with Bandit as well. And that's, as is well know, that's our quote unquote 2x2 system. But we're going 3 inches away and 3/4 of an inch in the ground. So, like our strategy, we know nitrogen moves downward, and if we place it 2 inches below the seed, it's already deep in the ground, right? It's only going to keep going farther and farther out of reach of that root system. So by placing it 3/4 of an inch away, we need less down pressure. We're actually getting downforce from that spring system we have built on it, so that helps keep the disc in the ground. But also too, we're a little more shallow, and that allows more room for the seed to be able to, that corn plant to be able to take up and use that nitrogen. So.
Yeah, Bandit's a product that we've sold a lot of, and for guys that are, we've learned a lot, not only from Y-drop, but from nitrogen in general in the last several years. And I don't feel that we need to get it extremely deep because, like you said, as soon as water hits it, I mean, that stuff is going to leave with water. So I think it's crucial to start with your fertilizer above the depth of your seed, because then as the water comes, you've got nitrogen from above it all the way down below it. Because that nitrogen from day one, it is going to start running away from your seed.
Correct.
So I think something like this is extremely effective. You're getting your fertilizer just deep enough to where it's incorporated into the soil. You're not, removing down pressure from your row unit. it does kick it back just a little bit, but it's not much. It's
Yeah.
one of the most cost-effective dual placement options on the market.
Yeah, yeah, and as you kind of alluded to, whoops, the placement you can see too, like it's only extending back. I think it's about 5.5, 6 inches is kind of
Yeah.
how far it extends those row units. So if you're concerned, you need something tight, and you're concerned with space and extending your closing wheels back, it's a very affordable option. We do offer a rock guard. It comes with every Bandit. So if you have rocks, what we found is that as that's tight, it does funnel some rocks, and there's not a lot of room to kick it out the side. So
Yep.
that rock guard allows your closing wheels to go over the rocks rather than kicking it out.
Yep.
The rock guard helps take care of a lot of that. So this is just kind of a plot that we laid out, and I mean it hits on Y drop and hits on 360 Bandit as well. And from what the story this kind of tells us is that there's definitely a huge benefit of moving nitrogen to the planter. That's at the end of the day, that's what this plot was telling the story of. Being able to divide up our nitrogen and be able to split apply. There's a big benefit in creating a system, a farming system, that we can apply nitrogen at different stages of corn, whether it's through Y drop and then also through something like 360 Bandit on the planter as well.
Yep.
But we've been kind of talking about that for years. So
Yeah, absolutely. You know, there's a lot of guys going to systems like that, not only with the Y drop, but on the planter too. You know, banding fertilizer has been the hot topic for quite some time.
Yeah, and this is just a picture of a grower I was working with. This is our case Bandit system. So I found that a lot of guys are kind of interested in that. And this is just a picture of what that looks like. It's priced differently than our typical Bandit for Kinsey, John Deere. It's got a different look to it. But we're using the closing system that's already there to knife in our nitrogen and apply it where we want it.
Okay.
It's a good option. And here are the different models that we support. So a wide variety that Bandit can go on.
Nice.
We're not really limited.
Nice.
Yeah. And also 360 tanks. And as you know, these have been pretty popular especially going into this year.
Yeah, one of potentially my favorite products. I mean, you know, what I love about the tanks is they're pretty dang trouble free. You ship them to a customer. Yes, they have to install them, but man, when they're on there, guys really love them.
Yeah.
This is a customer. I was scrolling through Twitter the other night, and he posted this, and I asked him if we could use it on the webinar. He's from Illinois, and he got his mounted up. I sent some tanks to Texas last year for a grower that was doing anhydrous and nitrogen at the same time. Right there. Yep, that's down there in Texas. They're probably getting ready to fill that tank up here in the next few weeks.
Probably.
But I love the tanks. I mean, we do a lot with planter fertilizer here. And right now, our only other option is really 300 gallons up front.
Yeah.
These carry 700 gallon. They look nice on the tractor. You can still see up over that. And, you know, a huge thing is the weight distribution, which you're going to know a lot more about that. But, man, guys just love these tanks. They really do.
Yeah, like you said, they're very they're easy to install, one, and then two, I mean, they're very trouble free. You just plumb them up and install them, and you're ready to go.
Yep.
And best benefit, these are 350 gallons a piece, so you're looking at about a 700 gallon tank system here.
Yep.
And they're very clean over the front. They also are well balanced, so we got about a 40-60 split is kind of what we've learned. We can keep 40% of that weight on the back tires and about 60% on the front.
Okay.
And then also we're working off of, we have wide variety. So our tank offerings are expanding. You can see here we're getting into 8RX.
Yep.
And I believe I'm sold out at this point. If there's someone interested in 8RX, they can definitely call us in and we can see. But it sounded like we were really close to being sold out for this year at least. They're pretty popular for the 8RX tractors, but we can fit up dual. You need dual tires for any of the 8R series. Any of the case tractors. So we have a wide variety, and this is kind of a sneak peek. of what's kind of coming in the future here. So we only have about a couple of these made up for this year. This is the 8RT. And we will be offering these hopefully full scale, probably, I don't know if it'll be fall or next year. But these are the tank systems for the R series with 8R series with tracks. They'll hold 1,000 gallons a piece, and they'll be priced differently, or not 1,000 gallons total. My bad, 500 gallons a piece.
Yep.
But they'll be priced differently based off of the other tanks. They'll be more expensive because there's more tank there.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is just kind of a little lookup of how they have
Nice.
for us. So
Nice.
it's exciting.
Good. Yeah. There's a lot of guys jumping up and down right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So John Deere 8000R, the 8030, 8R, 8RX, and 8RT is coming soon. So those are John Deere options. In case we're working on small MX, large MX, and then small frame Magnum and large frame Magnums. So we just ID those based on the side vents. So,
Yep.
yeah. Yeah, and then wide drop, like you said, wide drop's always a hot topic, and what we're going for there. Bandit nitrogen in the middle of the row, trying to hit it at the prime stages right before tassel. V10 guys are coming in at V5 to just spoon feed that crop throughout the year and give it what it needs, and the results are awesome. otherwise we still wouldn't be here today if they weren't.
Yeah, I mean, this is clearly 360's flagship product. It's the one that it was kind of one of their first products, and for us, it's extremely popular. Not only do we sell the Y drops, but some of you may have seen our Y drop toolbars for the Hagee sprayers. But I mean, it's an awesome way to do in-season nitrogen, multiple passes, applying fungicide. There's a lot of things that these things can do. It's the only way to feed your crop once that stuff gets over 3 or 4 feet tall. So phenomenal product.
Yeah, no, had a lot of success with it. We can basically, this is kind of a picture we took in the middle of the field with the Bandit nitrogen. It's hard to kind of imagine too. A lot of guys are like, "You sure it doesn't flip up in the canopy, or how precise is that Bandit nitrogen?" And right here, this is what we see, and just having the ability for that corn plant to grab water out as that rain's coming, just to funnel it down to its root system is really amazing. To walk through the field and see it's right there by the stalk. Just the way those leaves capture all the rain and funnel it down to its root system.
Yep.
It's right there, and we can tap right into that root system.
Yeah, I mean, to be able to go out there 60 feet at a time and apply 25 gallon the acre, something like that, in a pre-tassel scenario, that's a shot in the arm. I mean, that is an injection directly into the vein of that crop, and you can see it. You can see the effect of it extremely fast, and it's a nitrogen management tool. I mean, if you're going out there with a pull type applicator, you're kind of laying all your cards out there on the table before Mother Nature does. I mean, she could throw you a drought. She could throw you a monsoon. You don't know your yield potential at that time. So you could hang on to your nitrogen until you know somewhat of your yield potential or what the weather's been and what it's going to be, and then play your hand based on what Mother Nature gave.
Yeah, who knows? We might even have the perfect amount of moisture.
Yeah.
Once in a while, a year like that pops up, and we get great mineralization, right? And microbes really give us kind of a free boost of nitrogen. And I mean, as much. So it's a great tool to have in your arsenal, because you never know what weather patterns we'll be getting.
Absolutely.
And then also with the, you guys have a lot of experience with this as well. Pairing 360 Glide with Y drop. A lot of guys, we also offer a 360 guide, which is our guidance system. I didn't really put a note in here with it, just mainly because a lot of times the best combination I've seen just from customers, a lot of glides go on a lot of Y drop systems. Typically guys want to do one or the other, and glides runs about $2,800, whereas guide is in that $5,000, $5,500 range. And they would rather steer rather than and would rather have automatic boom height control.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because whenever you're looking out 60 feet, you don't know if you're in the dirt or if there's a washout, changing in elevation. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, that corn is extremely deceiving whenever you're out there applying. You could be driving along and there could be a big hill, but whenever that corn is tall, it could be lower on the dip. And so the height of the corn doesn't necessarily follow the height of the terrain. And you could dig a boom in without even knowing it. Whereas the glide, that feeler, I did it for those of you that want to see more on glide. I've done some videos on glide. If you just go to our YouTube page and type in Fending Equipment Glide, but you lift on that tailpiece and the boom just follows it right up, and you let go of it and the boom comes right down. There's a roll sensor in there that feels where that thing is, and as you're driving, your booms are just following the ground. It's pretty neat to watch.
Yeah. So what we're doing here is we're tapping into your already created wide drop system. We have a special breakaway that we replace. That communicates with our glide, and we're getting into your boom height, your NORAC system or your boom track system. And it goes on a left, a right, and a center. And one glide package will do the whole wide drop system there. So one $2,800 package, and we can give you a boom height system that's feeding off the real ground changes. And if that breakaway breaks on that glide, it just freezes your boom. So when that reconnects, it'll start sending the signal back to your boom height control, and it'll just keep feeding off of the information it's getting from the ground there.
Very interesting product. Today it goes on about every wide drop kit.
Yeah. So the only limitation with that is again, John Deere, Hagie, and Rogator. You can see here we can only work on Boom Track Pro and then UC5 and UC7. So I've been pushing them for a while to get on Case, get on different systems, whether it be Ag Leader or Raven, but we'll see what the future holds on that. But this is where we're at today. And then we mentioned too, side dress. If you don't have a full sprayer, side dress, 360 wide drop side dress is a great option to convert a old ammonia bar that you no longer use. A toolbar that's just sitting in the middle or sitting in the row, your fence row there in the back of the woods. You can dust it off and just bolt on some wide drops there. Now you got a new applicator system there you could reuse.
Yeah, we sell a lot of pull type applicators here, and some with colders, some with wide drops. But the cool thing about the wide drops is you'll never come to me to replace a blade or a bearing or a knife. So it's interesting to be able to do that with an existing product that you already have. So if you're running a colder today, you can certainly run the wide drop. And these have the breakaways with them too to keep them out of the ground.
Yeah, no, it's a great option to get the effects of banding nitrogen. You're limited, on your height, but it's way better than sticking it in the middle of the row where the root system can't really get to it. You don't know if you'll have enough water to get out that way. And then also too, the maintenance. There's very little maintenance, just like you mentioned.
Yep.
So, yeah, those are the products we were going to highlight that I think are very practical and very. Now's the time to talk about it, right? As we're getting ready, preparing for the 2021 planting season, and then soon we'll be on to the feeding in-season nitrogen, side dressing season.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
But before we close too far and get away from the products, Taylor, as you're talking to customers, and of course I talk to a lot of customers throughout the country, and of course everyone's going to call you on a different thing because each product fits someone. But what's one product, if a guy out there today, he doesn't have Bandits, he doesn't have wide drops, he doesn't have any of that, what's one product you would really have him kind of dig into that's extremely cost effective, it fits on almost anything, that guy should look at to maybe add to his arsenal?
Yeah, no, definitely. That would definitely have to be wide drop. Whether you're wide drop on your self-propelled sprayer or you're even side dressing on a toolbar. I fully believe, just seeing the results and having so many years of data behind us, that's where your biggest payoff is going to be, and it's going to be the quickest payoff, I believe. on a lot of the products we have. Following after that, I see a lot of good results with Bandit. And what these two products have in common is that we're breaking up our nitrogen program, right? So just starting our nitrogen management. So those products work really well in a program. But Y Drop for sure. It's easy to install, easy to use, and guys really love what it does.
Yeah, and I definitely agree. Those are two products that have an extremely high return on investment. One product, though, I kind of alluded to that has me the most excited is the Wave.
Yeah.
I think, closing wheels are a huge thing right now. And if that stuff holds true on what it can do with closing wheels, fire up the Wave machines
Yeah.
because we'll need some.
Yeah, I 100% agree with Wave. We only have a year of beta testing under our belt, but it has potential to maybe even surpass on my list of to go past Bandit.
Yeah.
I still think Y Drop's gonna be great, but Wave has a lot of opportunity. And from what we saw this year, we've already contacted all of our warehouses and told them like, hey, we need to make sure we have plenty in for 2022.
Yeah.
So we'll be ready for you guys if that's something you're looking to upgrade. We'll have plenty to sell, I hope. So
awesome. So for the growers today that are looking to potentially purchase here in the next few months, let's talk about how else we can get some money in their pockets.
Yeah. So 360, we run a lot of rebates. So I thought I would list those on as well. And our popular ones are the Y Drop rebates. We do. I will say that if you are ready to buy today or tomorrow, we have a $3,000 rebate going, and it'll end tomorrow. So we're a little limited on time on that, but we still offer the $1,500 rebate, which is still a really good savings. And that'll end in the end of February there. So some awesome opportunities to save on a Y Drop system. That's going to be 19 drops or more to qualify for it, but we basically cut you a check, and that check isn't to be spent on Y Drop. It's $1,500 in your pocket. So same with the undercover rebate. You can just see the qualifications there, just 19 units or more. And undercover is our fungicide application. I didn't really cover that a ton, just mainly because it seems like a lot of guys, undercover is an awesome system to cover the full plant and really get underneath those leaves where the insects live and where the fungicide spores start uptaking, and also too where your stomata of the plant are, to uptake into the plant.
Yep.
So great tool to have. But I just see more so guys really just want to go out there and without having a split tank applicator, it kind of makes it tough to do both Y Drop and undercover at the same time. So,
yep.
But we offer that savings there for undercover. 360 Y Drop side dress, $500 rebate on 11 drops or more. So if you got an implement you want to update, or you got a coulter's wearing out and you're tired of replacing coulters, there you go. You got an awesome rebate there to get you a free Y Drop right there of side dress on 11 units or more. And then the yield saver. So that's one of our fall products we didn't cover here. But that's our brushes and our gathering chains. But we run a $100 rebate per row till the end of February or to the end of September. So that's now till the end of September. So if you're going through your corn head still, or you have some repairs and want to upgrade, that's a great opportunity as well. So
absolutely.
Yeah,
some awesome programs. I mean, if you were on the fence before about ordering, now's a great time to lock in some rebates. These rebates do disappear, and then you're just kind of out of luck. So if you're thinking of ordering, give us a call. We can get these shipped directly to your farm.
Yeah. The amazing thing too is like as these orders get placed, they show up fast. So it's not like you're waiting a week. Within 2 or 3 days, it seems like they're showing up at the farm. So
360 has got the fastest shipping of any vendor that we deal with today.
Yeah, no, it's all the work the guys in the warehouse do. They got really quick turnaround out there, so it's great.
Yep.
And then also too, kind of you've probably seen all the ads and all the talk in the countryside, but
this is the part here where you tell us about the new product that's coming down the line.
Yeah. I wish I could go really deep into it, but this is definitely something you're not going to want to you're not going to want to miss. We're really taking a hard look on how we farm, just the whole system. How do we get nutrients to the plant? How do we, yeah, we're just looking at that as a full spectrum, and we're going to be releasing a new product that we think could really revolutionize how we raise the corn crop. So this is something you won't want to miss for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I may or may not know what the product is, and I can tell you it's pretty interesting. That's for sure. You guys are definitely going to want to log in, listen to Greg, and see what he's got because if you guys are just going to roll your eyes and think it's just a hype game, it's not. It'll be pretty dang interesting, and there's no denying that 30, 40, 50 bushel deal is true.
Yeah, it's a real possibility, that's for sure. And if you want to, if you're interested in, I know you guys will be able to push out a link to your customers as well. But
Yep.
if you're interested in logging in and go at the bottom there, you can see 360yieldsummit.com is where you would go to subscribe as a customer. You can hit the subscribe button, and you would get a link as well whenever they launch on the 26th. That's when we're going to have the big release of this product, and they're going to have a. You can be the first ones to see it because on the 27th, the entire general public will be on YouTube, and everyone will have access to it. So if you want a sneak preview, that's where you'd go.
Awesome. So next Wednesday, the
Yeah.
26th.
Yeah, the 26th. They'll be pushing it out. So.
Awesome. No, I lied. That's on
Tuesday?
That's Tuesday. Tuesday the 26th. Yes.
27th is that Wednesday. That'll be the whole public will know. So
Yep.
everyone
Yep.
who didn't sign up, it'll be live at that point. So.
Yep. Awesome. I'm excited for it. I really am. And I can't wait. And I'm sure you especially can't wait. You've probably been holding it in forever, but to talk to people about it.
It's exciting to finally not have to hide it, and I really think Ohio, Indiana, and Michigan could be really big benefiters from this product that's going to be released. So if
Yeah.
you're in all across, I just say Indiana, Michigan, Ohio because that's my region. So,
Yep.
But I think there's some big opportunities here in the future.
Yep. No doubt.
Yeah, that's all I have for this. But yeah, if you're looking to order any products or have any questions, feel free to reach out to Adam. They're awesome guys at Finnick Equipment.
Yeah, we I should have mentioned earlier, but I figured everyone kind of knew here at Fennig Equipment. We're located in Coldwater, Ohio. Be happy to assist you guys with all your Yield 360 products. So with that, we enjoy doing the webinars. We hope this is a great way to get some information out to you. If there's something that you want to know that we didn't talk about or learn about, give 360 a call, or of course us here at Fennig Equipment. We can get Taylor on the phone too, do a three-way call, and get you the information you need. Trust me, the lack of farm shows, it's nice to be at home and stuff, but we really do miss the face-to-face conversation with customers, and we want to talk to you and get you informed on the product.
Definitely, yeah.
So, all right. Well, I think with that, we're going to close down the webinar, and everyone have a great